Good morning, everyone. I just want to welcome you to Southeast PTAC, a federally funded program under DoD, providing no-cost government contracting assistance, as you may already know. My name is Natasha Borchanin. I am an interim program manager, and I welcome you to today's session, 3 Ways to Win Federal Contracts Without Writing a Proposal. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our instructor today, Serena Moore Thomas, an experienced business leader, dynamic speaker, author, and strategist. She has led several small businesses to multi-million-dollar revenues, won hundreds of federal contracts, and continues to empower leaders around the world through executive coaching and federal contracting consulting. Serena has been awarded SBA Young Entrepreneur of the Year, GBCC Small Business Person of the Year, and has been featured in Philadelphia Biz Journal, Black Enterprise Cover, Essence Magazine, just to mention a few. We are lucky to have her share knowledge and wisdom, and I highly encourage you to take the most out of this session with Serena. Please take note of any questions you may have throughout the presentation, and we will make sure that there is time to answer some of those at the end of your presentation. And thank you very much. Serena, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Really excited to join you today, and I hope you are excited as well. Thank you for, first of all, investing time. I'm sorry, I probably should silence this phone. Investing your time today, and investing in yourself and in your business. So thank you, PTAC, for having me. And let's dive in. If you are ready, I am going to ask you to be very interactive with me. It's important that you take this time. Like, we live in a really distracted world, right? So it's easy to be on a Zoom and on a conference call and check an email, and then on Facebook, and then on Instagram, and then YouTube, and then, doing all the things at one time. But do this for not for me, but for you, for these next 45 minutes. Just lean all the way in, and take really great notes, and write down your questions so that we can address your questions. But I do need you to, like I said, be very interactive with me in the chat. And I'm going to first start by asking you to type in the chat your industry. What industry do you work in? And then you can also, as I get my PowerPoint presentation up, just write a takeaway, what you would like to take away from the time invested today, okay? So I'm going to let those fly in. Somebody from my team, can you just read those out loud? I'm going to start sharing my screen. So just let me know what we're saying.
Sure thing. We have people in tech, transportation, brokerage, manufacturing, industry, machine shop, automotive repair, cybersecurity, government contracting, IT, consulting, construction materials, vinyl print and design. And I think someone else is writing. And consulting for folks who want to be self-published authors, and someone with a government contract with USPS.
Awesome. And whoever's
HVAC.
hosting, I need the ability to share. So just if whoever's hosting, it's just says share is disabled. So just give me the ability to share, and I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. Those are awesome industries. Now, what do you want to take away from today? What do you want to take away from today? All right. And the host just did give me the opportunity to share. Okay. And I'll be. What do you want your takeaways to be? How to
secure other government contracts outside of the mail, trucking, general freight, and warehousing short term. Really looking for help with understanding contracting with the government and working with the DBE set aside.
Awesome.
Are you able to share, Serena? I have stopped sharing.
Okay, nope, just if you can make me co-host.
Yeah, Tiffany, did we? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I think I gave you host back.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it.
I got it.
Another objective, how to actually get a government contract. We always have trouble doing it on our own.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
Someone's just getting started and they're here to learn it all.
Awesome. Awesome. So can you guys see my screen right now?
We can see it.
Veteran. Okay, and I can see the chat. I work with veterans in my state, looking to learn more veterans as well in my industry. Okay. All right. Okay. So you guys are engaged. This is great. So this chat, let me tell you how the best way to interact with me. Since this is not a webinar, I don't think I can see a QA. So type your questions. Someone from my team will grab them. If I need to be like stopped right then and ask the question, then they'll do that. But there will be an opportunity. I will stop sharing my screen. I will ask you to be on screen if you can, and I will answer as many of your questions as humanly possible. So I think the Q&A part is like the most important part. And then I also have a free tool that I want to give you at the end to help round out everything that I'm going to share with you today. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. I am watching my time and let's move. So we're here about how to win federal contracts without writing proposals. And the reason why it's without writing proposals is because proposals make me itch. They really do. I just don't like it. If I don't have to write a proposal, I just really don't want to do it. And I'm going to explain to you how I kind of came to this this fact here that I do not like writing proposals. All right, so I already had a wonderful introduction, so I'm going to do very little of an introduction, but we have a program, Mission 500K. We are on a mission to teach 500,000 small businesses how to succeed in the federal marketplace without writing proposals, okay? And because I am host, I can see that people want to get in. So can my co-host also see that and admit people? Just let me know so I'll know if I need to admit people.
Sure, I'll be doing that as we go along.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I believe, oh, hold on, it says you're a host, so you may have to do.
No, I can. I got it.
You can, okay.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So I won't pay attention to those. All right. So here's what we're going to discuss. I told you about Mission 500K. That's really simple. I'm going to lay some groundwork here. I'm going to redefine federal contracting for some of you. And then we're going to dive into 3 ways. And there are more than 3 ways. I'll talk to as many of them as I can, but there are certainly at least 3 ways that I'm going to share in our time together today. Okay. And then, of course, our next steps. So I am Serena Moore Thomas, known as the destroyer of comfort zones. I am the CEO of the Highmark Group and the Highmark family of companies. So my management consulting company is the Highmark Group. I own a co-working space here in Jacksonville, Florida. That's Highmark Solutions. We have Highmark Distribution, which is a new baby of mine. I am a podcaster and an author and a speaker. Serena Speaks is a company I started more than 15 years ago now. And that is just all about, coaching and personal development. And that's where I speak at Serena Speaks. Okay. But I didn't start that way. In fact, this is how I started. I started out as a teenage mother of twins. This is a picture of me holding my 2 babies at my high school graduation. And so while my friends were preparing to go to college and preparing to have an epic summer, I was preparing for single parenthood. And at 17 years old, I graduated from high school with these 2 babies, my left and right arm, I called them, Shania and Deja, okay? And I knew that summer that I was not going to be able to do what everyone else was doing. A job at McDonald's was not going to be enough for me. I needed to do something because now I have 3 lives to take care of. I moved out of my parents' house at 18 years old and have been on my own ever since. Okay, that summer, high school, that summer of high school, I had an opportunity to work with my father on a construction site. He was always in the construction industry, and I worked with him at this construction site. While he was working there, we found out that a contractor was awarded a six-figure contract to do what he was being paid hourly to do, okay? And so he was a labor foreman on the construction site. I worked in the trailer. I kept time and did mock-up drawings and things like that. And after we found out about this six-figure contract, my father was like, Serena, listen, if you can figure out how to start a business, I can do the service, we can have our own business. And I'm talking the days of AOL dial-up, people. There was no Google, right? And nobody to ask. So AOL dial-up days, you guys remember when you couldn't be on the internet and on the phone at the same time? Or you couldn't receive a fax, be on the phone and on the internet, and like that didn't exist, right? And I had no idea about anything really pertaining to business, right? I did not have a college degree. I literally had to AOL browse my way to knowledge, okay? And that was, what is a corporation? What is the LLC? What is this? What is an EIN? What is a DUNS number? What are these certifications? What's all this stuff? And I began to literally teach myself and show up everywhere. I mean, PTAC, WBNC, well, We Bank, I showed up there. I was at the SBA, I was at the SBDC, you name it. I was at the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. I was everywhere, just trying to understand how to start and grow this business, okay? And now I've learned how to turn my obstacles into opportunities, okay? I later, because of the success of Elohim, so we started this cleaning contracting company out of my father's room, out of my father's house in my brother's old bedroom. That company quickly grew to well over $1 million in sales in less than about 6 years. And that landed me on the cover of the Black Enterprise magazine and 40 Under 40 and Essence magazine and SBA and all the places, right? And it's only because I showed up in every single room like I was meant to be there. All of this was done with no publicist, no public relations, no Twitter, no Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok. It was done because I learned how to be persistent and consistent in my efforts. I learned how to use all of the free resources. I'm talking free 99, all of the free resources available to me. And I refused to quit. That first quote said, you can cry, but don't you dare quit. I'm going to pause here and just encourage you for a moment. We are living in a time that is just unprecedented, right? This is crazy, right? For the business community, we've all faced some very unusual, uncertain times. Some of you on this call today, you've lost loved ones, you've lost employees, you've lost business, right? You've lost in this season. Some of you have gained in this season. It's been almost the best and the worst of times for many of us. Can I get an amen? Even though we are not at church, but do you understand what I'm saying, right? We have faced some very, very difficult times, but we have to understand how to identify opportunities where other people see obstacles. If you are with me, say, yes, I hear you, Serena. Okay, I went on to get married. So I am married now. After having those twins, I met my husband, and I now am a mother of 4 children. My twins are now 23 years old. My other 2 are 9 and 11. Or 8 and 11, and I have a 2-year-old grandbaby. Okay, I know I only look like I'm 29, 32. I don't know, but I have a 2-year-old grandbaby. Okay, and so experience matters. That's why I'm sharing all of this, right? After running through the city and trying to figure out how to start a business, I came across a couple mini certifications, right? So I have been MBE, WBE, DBE, NAACP, HIJK, LMNOP certified. Do you understand? All of the certifications. I have been 8A certified. So the cleaning contracting company, we were able to get our 8A certification, which is a phenomenal program. And if you're considering it and if you qualify, I highly, highly suggest that you go through that program and connect deeply with your BOS, which is your business opportunity specialist. Those are the folks that are designed to help you win when you are in the 8A program, okay? So I am familiar with all of the programs. I've been SBA, like you heard, Region 3 Young Entrepreneur of the Year. I get it. The cleaning contracting company that we started, I resigned as CEO about 9 years ago now. My father and my brother still run that business. I moved on and ended up running another company supplying Boeing aircraft parts to the federal government. I've supplied parts for the F-15, the F-18, KC-135, Apache, Chinook, helicopter, all of those. And I did that through one of my favorite agencies, which is the Defense Logistics Agency, the DLA. And then as a consultant, I had an opportunity to work with a military technology company. And so I'm telling you all of this because experience absolutely matters. And it's important that you learn from and glean from people who have done it. Right? I never ever will teach you what I heard, what I read. I'll only teach you what I've actually done and seen success in. Okay, is that fair? So I have both service and product experience in the federal arena. Okay, we're going to move forward. In laying the groundwork, the first thing you got to know is this: 80% of success at anything is psychological, people. It's mindset, belief, and emotions, seriously. And only 20% is due to strategy, like the specific steps that you need to accomplish a result, right? That's a Tony Robbins quote. And long before Tony Robbins, the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Okay, so take it all. It all means the same thing, okay? Your mindset is going to be extremely, extremely important as you approach this federal contracting space, okay? All right, here we go. All right, so YOU, nothing is going to happen unless you do it. You are the common denominator, right? You are running this business. Your employees are looking to you. Your family is looking to you, right? You. So you have to take personal responsibility for the progress you make, the income you produce, the things you do. You have to do that. It's going to happen because of what you decide to do or not to do. But at the end of the day, it comes right back to you, okay? Important word. This is going to be important as we move forward. Intentional. The last word I'm going to leave you with before we dive all the way in. Intentional. There are no more casual commitments. You cannot have a casual commitment to your business and expect to see results. You have to show up in every moment like you were meant to be there. Do you understand? So your commitments cannot be casual in this season. You have to be intentional. You have to show up with intentionality. You should be on this webinar intentionally, right? Not just, I had nothing to do. Let me see what this girl is talking about today. No. Be intentional. What can I learn? What can I glean? What powerful question can I ask? What can I do today that moves my business forward? That's the thing that has allowed me to see success in every single thing that I've been able to create, okay? So now you got to interact with me a little bit. I need you to put this in the chat. What makes a good client? And if somebody from my team can read those, what makes a good client as they come in? What makes an ideal client? If you said, listen, I want clients that, fill in the blank. What makes a good client for you? Okay. Like I want a bunch of clients
Someone
that.
who is receptive.
Okay. Receptive. What else do we have? You don't have to write a paragraph. You can just give me a couple words. Express yourself in 3 words or less. Good morning, America. All right.
Consistent.
All right. Anything else?
That they have money. Very important.
Awesome.
That they're good communicators.
Good communicator. Awesome. Right. So these are things that make a good client.
Dedicated to doing the work, their goals are completed. Someone who's done some of the work and has a vision.
Mhm. Okay, great. So yeah, we typically hear, right? First of all, somebody that has money. Let's be clear. You want a client that has money. I see them now, a high demand for my service. Yes, someone who has a vision. I got you. One that's dedicated to doing the work, a good communicator, right? So they know how to communicate exactly what they want. And they don't leave you guessing, trying to figure it out. And then they tell you that they don't, that wasn't it. You don't want that. Right? Someone, yes, that has a high demand for your service. Awesome. You guys have all just described the federal government. Let me tell you why. They're the best client to have. They are literally the nation's biggest customer, the nation's largest customer. They spend about 500 billion each year, people. And I have here 195 billion set aside, and the spend of 500 billion, it's actually more than that, but approximately almost 200 billion is set aside for small businesses. They buy everything from dog food to chicken to aircraft parts to paper clips, right? They are bound by the Prompt Pay Act. As a small business, you are paid in 30 days. And this is important. I'm going to say this because some people get this mixed up, right? Doing business at a city level, at a state level, and at a federal level are three different levels, okay? I do business where the money resides at the federal level. That's my preference, right? City has a lot of different, city is good. They have great contracts. They're sometimes a great way to get started, but there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of things. And you will hear from a city or a local municipality things like, okay, we're trying to get you paid, our budget was cut, our budget, you'll hear things like that. So I prefer to do business where the budget is created, okay, at the federal level, right? And so at the federal level, they are bound by what's called the FAR. That's the Federal Acquisition Regulation, right? You will learn this through your connection with PTAC. And so the FAR governs federal level. All right. The Prompt Pay Act is one of those things. In the federal government, you can be paid in as little as 15 days on some opportunities. And I'll show you some. So also the Biden-Harris administration, they have a commitment right now. So if you go pull up the small business fact sheet from June, I think June of last year, you'll see kind of their instructions on how they want to help specifically small minority disadvantaged businesses. And that is by increasing contracts to disadvantaged businesses by $100 billion over the next 4 years. Okay, that is amazing. They have multiple ways, the government, the federal government, they have multiple ways that they can do business with you. So you want a customer that can do business multiple ways, multiple days, right? So they can do business with you multiple ways. And while we're all here, of course, proposals are not required, okay? It's not a requirement. Proposals are needed depending on the type of opportunity, but they're not required, okay? So this is a process that you've probably seen. In fact, I hear me clear. I love PTAC. There are lots of free resources, but I knocked on every single door. PTAC, SBA, SCORE, SBDC, you name it. If they could help me, I was there for the help. I sat at a meeting. It was actually happened to be a PTAC. It wasn't your PTAC, and this was long ago. But this was the slide that was shown. And this was the federal procurement process. This is the federal procurement process, right? And you see all of this. I'm not going to read it all because you guys can read, right? Planning and identifying the need, requisitioning the requirement, then set aside decision, then this, then that, then receive the offer, then evaluate the offer, then pre-award debrief, and then the proposal revision. And then, it just was never ending, right? And so I sat at the How to Do Business with the Government seminar. And I have actual footage. Are you ready for this? I have actual footage of me sitting in the front row, all right, after seeing this slide when I've come to do business with the government. Okay, y'all ready to see it? Okay, I think you say yes. All right, so here's footage. I'm so serious. What you talking about, Willis? What I said to myself is there has to be an easier way. Like you cannot tell me that this is the only way that this can happen. Do you understand? There has to be an easier way. There's got to be a better way than this. And so I set out on a mission to find the most expedient way to get this done. All right, I hope you guys are laughing at me right now. So here it is. We're talking about what you don't need, because while that is true, that is a federal procurement process, that's not the only one though. So these are things that you don't need. You do not need certifications. They're great to have. There is, funds set aside, but they're not required. You do not need a proposal writing team. You do not need an office in DC. You do not need past performance for some requirements, okay? And I'm back this all up. Remember, I never teach you things that I heard or read. I only teach you what I know from what I've done, okay? So what does the government buy? Everything. Here are a couple of examples. Any yoga instructors in here? Here's the opportunity. It was the yoga Tai Chi instructor. This one was for a chicken for $21,000. This one is for a Catholic priest. It says option because it was in the option year. It was a 1-year contract with 4 option years. And the option year came up, and here was these are award documents pulled right from. And by the way, you don't get opportunities off of SAM unless you know what you're looking for. Okay, we'll talk about that. I'll answer your questions. I'm going to leave plenty of time for questions, so I'm going to fly through the rest. Okay, Catholic priest, $53,302.50. That's the award. These are award documents, okay? Just FYI. So how do they buy? Many ways, right? The blanket purchase agreement, IDIQs, your RFPs, your subcontract, all the things, GSA schedules. There's endless opportunities, but we want to talk about the 3 ways that you can do this without writing proposals. And in order to do that, in order for us to talk about those 3 ways, you have to understand these 2 words and this particular FAR part, because you can go look this up yourself at acquisition.gov, okay? FAR Part 13 is where I like to play. It's a beautiful playground, and it is the playground of simplified acquisitions. And what a simplified acquisition is exactly what it says. It is a simplified acquisition. Y'all got that? Okay. So there are multiple FAR parts within 13, and they cover these things, right? So simplified acquisitions, purchase cards, that's one, the GPC, the government purchase card. What is a purchase card? The purchase card is a government issued credit card. There are more purchase card holders than there are contracting officers. Do you understand me? So there are more people authorized by the government to buy with a credit card than there are contracting officers, okay? Micro purchases are going to be things that fall under the micro purchase threshold, which is $10,000 and below, okay? Typically on a purchase card, you're going to see they're going to be micro purchases. They may be $3,500, but micro purchases are $10,000 and below. Purchase orders are another method that a buyer can use under the simplified acquisition procedure. And then of course you have blanket purchase agreements, okay? So we're going to dive into a few of these, and then I'll answer your questions. So let's talk GPC. This is the first way, one of the ways that you can win without writing proposals is by having opportunities paid for with a government purchase card. My very first contract win was with a government purchase card. It was a purchase card holder that we knew at the local Veterans Administration building. And at that building, she worked in the office and held a purchase card. They needed janitorial services for a few days a week. It wasn't a huge contract. At the time, I want to say the GPC threshold was like $3,500. And that micro purchase threshold that is $10,000 now, that changed. That actually changed during the Trump administration, because it was 3,500. If I'm not mistaken, it was 35. So it was very low at the time. Either way, they needed cleaning 2 days a week or something like that. And we were able to get this cleaning contract paid for with a government purchase card. We did the work and would invoice the Veterans Center, and she would pay our QuickBooks invoice with her purchase card. There was never a contract. There was never a solicitation. There was never a proposal. There was none of that. No one even knew we had the contract, right? So the rest of the small business community didn't even know we were in there, because they don't have to publicly announce anything that is below $25,000. So even in the fine print of SAM.gov, and people tell you to go there all the time, which is good, but that's a whole nother, I have a whole nother training on that. SAM.gov, it tells you on there, this portal promotes opportunities that are 25,000 and above. So the question you should be asking yourself as a small business owner is, where is 25,000 and below? You know, like 5 and below. Where's 25,000 and below? Because it doesn't have to be publicly announced. Okay. So the benefit is the streamlined payment procedure. It reduces the administrative burden, and they can purchase on the spot, literally on the spot. During the time of when COVID was like, you know, when we were in state of emergency COVID times, do you know how many government purchase cards were used? I mean, on the spot, like, I'll buy that right now. $100,000, I'll buy that right now because my card has been opened up. The limit is $500,000 today, because it's a streamlined purchase. You have something we need. If you had masks and you had PPE and you had all these things that they needed, you get purchased. You get, you get a opportunity with the purchase card. There's that. They spend 30 billion approximately annually, 100 million transactions. There are 3 million cards. There are different types of cards. I'm not going to get into those because we don't have time, but it is the preferred method for purchasing and paying for goods and services underneath the micro purchase threshold. Okay. That's number one. There is a whole program. General Halt, actually, I think he just retired. Cameron Halt from the Pentagon started a program called the First Look program, where they have been trying for the last several years to redirect approximately, they meaning the Air Force, has been trying to redirect approximately 1.8 billion with a B dollars that they spend in purchase cards alone. So they want to redirect that money to small businesses that are in the areas located right outside of Air Force bases. And that's what the First Look is, because they want to give local small businesses located near Air Force bases the first look. And they want to pay for services with their purchase card. Okay. So that's one of many. I can't go into them all, right? And there are certain things you got to do in your SAM profile to make sure that you're prepared for purchase cards. Okay, that's one. Two, micro purchases. We've talked about it kind of interchangeably. Every micro purchase is not done with a purchase card though. So this is why it's separate. Okay. Every micro purchase is not paid for with a purchase card. Okay. But it does not require a competitive quote process or a procurement officer. They can use a purchase card. They can write a purchase order. You can even get a letter contract. You know what a letter contract is? Like an email saying, we need this and I'm given authority because the government gave me authority and come now. That's a letter those exist. It's all in the FAR. Usually you see things like that in times of war, in times of state of emergency and things like that. But those are opportunities that do exist. So you should be looking into educating yourself about micro purchases, right? Because they do not have to post these things in the public portals. You can be talking with an agency and you can ask, hey, where do you post opportunities that are less than $25,000? And that's a question you know the answer to, because they're going to say we don't. right? Because they don't have to. Legally, they don't have to. But now you know that there's something that exists below the threshold that you can start having conversations about. If I had more time, we would take a closer look, but we can't because I need to let you have ask questions. The third way that I'm going to share today, and I'll probably give you 4 as a bonus, but the third way is purchase orders, right? The order is an offer by the government to the supplier to buy certain supplies and services upon specific terms and conditions, right? DIBS. This is the place where I love to play. It is the DLA Internet Bid Board System. You probably have not heard about it because there's almost no training on it. I have a training on it, but that's beside the fact. DIBS. It is how the DLA buys, okay? What is DIBS? It is the Defense Logistic Agency Internet Bid Board System. It is a web-based application. There's no paperwork, there's no printing, there's nothing to sign. You literally go on to DIBS, and in DIBS, the DLA puts out what they need, what their needs are, and you answer that need by saying, hey, I have that product, I have that, I can supply that. And everything that you do is entered on one page on the DIBS web-based system. You find out if you're awarded the RFQ, the quote, you find out if your quote was accepted all electronically. Everything is done electronically and by email, no paperwork. This is where I supplied aircraft parts. I've won hundreds of purchase orders on DIBS, okay? The DLA, they buy literally everything, all things troop support. Right now, they got a, opportunity out there for, I think it's like 5,000 condoms. Look, they need what they need. So you got troop support things, textiles, construction. If you're in the medical field, if you supply medical supplies and equipment, this is a great place for you. Because if you have relationships with folks like Medline and Medtronics or Fisher Scientific or any of those guys, those OEMs, that's what we call them, original equipment manufacturers, Boeing, Lockheed, BAE, all those guys. If you have relationships with them and have the ability to get product for them as a small business, you are allowed to get those products and sell them to the government. Now, I'm not going to go into the accounting of that and the resale of that. This is not a middleman strategy. Again, I don't teach you what I heard. I don't teach you what I read. I teach you what I've done, okay? Our relationship with Boeing, the way that we did it, and I'll just give it to you, okay? We had a blanket order and agreement with Boeing. We had the ability to have access to the Boeing catalog. And every single day, DLA puts out about 50,000 different Boeing spare parts that they need to repair aircrafts. And so we would go on to DLA, to DIBS every single day and say, okay, here's what they need because it's all here. And then here's what our catalog has. And we would literally cross-reference, submit a price, and see if they want to buy it at that price. There are specific opportunities that are set aside for small businesses, for veterans, for women-owned businesses, for hub-zone businesses on DIBS, okay? My favorite features of DIBS, there's no technical proposals. They have these things called T-quotes where the computer like literally issues the award. I'm not even joking. It's like, some kind of AI, but it is what it is. It's automated quotes. A lot of it is automated on the DIBS system. I would have to come back and do a whole separate webinar on DIBS for you guys, okay? But the quote is done on one page and the procurement history is shown right in the solicitation. I can literally pull up the solicitation and see the procurement history, what the government paid for the last 25 times that they purchased that particular product. That helps me to determine where my price needs to be, okay? DIBS is another thing. So those are 3 ways. The 4th way that I would say as a bonus, and I don't have a slide for it, would be subcontracting. Subcontracting contracting is a powerful method as long as you're working with a really great contractor. So as a subcontractor, you don't always have to write the proposal. You have to more provide price and performance, right? And that's about it. So those are my three. Do you feel like you've received value today? I know we've gone kind of fast, but I definitely want to leave as much time as possible for questions. Do you feel like you have received value today? And I'm going to get to your questions. Okay. Y'all still with me? Or are y'all watching YouTube? Or are you checking your Facebook? Never heard of it before. Yes, I see you, right? DIBS, nobody really teaches on it. I have a whole course on DIBS. So one of my favorite spaces. So here's what I'm going to say real quick before I open up for questions. If you want a $10,000 contract this month, what would that allow you to do in your business? Just think about that for a second. Like, what would that allow you to do seriously? Right? Ideas are everywhere and they're easy. Especially as an entrepreneur, you have a new idea every day, right? Every day you can do something. So ideas are easy. It's the implementation that is hard. And so that's the part that I have to challenge you on today. And so think about it. How different would your business look if you applied just 20% of what you've learned? Not today, this year. This is your 4,000th webinar. Let's be clear. I already know, right? You've been doing this all year. You've been doing this for the last couple of years. So you've attended 500 million webinars, teleconferences. You've enrolled in 2,200 courses. You've spent umpteen dollars, right? You've showed up to everybody's everything. You have connected with every single small business resource that there is, everything from SCORE to SBDC to PTech to everything. You just have done it, haven't you? So imagine if you would have applied just 20% of what you've learned, right? Implementation is the hard part. So like I said, we're on a mission to teach 500,000 small businesses how to succeed without writing proposals. And this is a part of that mission, us being able to give you this information for free. I think you guys know what AI is, right? Who knows what AI stands for? Who knows what AI stands for? What does AI stand for? Okay, nobody?
Artificial intelligence.
Thank you. I guess it was two long words. You were trying to figure out if you could spell it right in that chat. I get it. I get it. Thank you so much for answering. Artificial intelligence. I told you, I know you very well because I'm just a different version of you. I'm you at a later stage in the game. I stand in your champion. I've done this. Okay. I've been there. But here's what I want to challenge you with really quickly, guys. I want to redefine AI for you because here's the truth. The true artificial intelligence is when you sit on calls like this and you take in information and you decide to do nothing with it. The true meaning of artificially intelligent is when you just gather facts and constantly fill your notebook with notes, but you don't apply it. So I want to redefine that for you and challenge you to be a different kind of AI. Please mute your phone. I want you to be an activator of insights, that kind of AI. That's what I need you to be. If you're going to succeed in this space, you have to be an accelerator of ideas. You have to always be intentional. You have to absolutely be impeccable with your word. That's the kind of AI you need to be. You have to be able to articulate incredible value. That's AIV. You have to abandon indecisiveness and you have to apply information. Okay, is your dream bigger than $3,000? Bigger than what is it? What is your dream? Right? You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. And so I'm going to pause here for questions. And then I do have, like I said, I'm going to pull up a slide. I do have a freebie for you to kind of help you revisit some of this information that I've shared with you today. Okay, so I am going to stop sharing for a moment and I am going to take your questions. Somebody from
Serena.
the team, are there a bunch written?
Yeah, there's two I want to talk through. So Chris asked a question. My business is geared towards consulting per Next Codes. Can I be a consult consultants sell products or provide services outside of what I have already provided, is it recommended to do a DBA form, another business, in name only, specifically for products to supply for the government?
Whew, I need you to give me that again in pieces, baby.
Great. So her business is geared towards consulting. And
Yeah.
so she wants to know, can she be a consultant and sell products or provide services outside of what she's already provided? Is it okay, so that's the first thing.
Okay, so yes, so here's the beautiful thing about you guys can see me, right?
Yes,
Why is the view speaker? Okay, okay.
we can see you.
Okay, great. So the beautiful thing about the federal government, right, is that you do not have to limit yourself. Okay, as a consulting company, yeah, you can do a whole lot of things. You really can. And I know that there are some ideas out there around, okay, I have too many NAICS codes, I'm all over the place, and yeah, that has its place. And we would have to talk a lot more about that. I would, if you're going to do consulting and services, I would have two separate entities. That's what I do. I have a management consulting company and I have a distribution company. And I separated product in one place and service in another place. So I think that is a good recommendation, but this is where the free resource of SBDC comes in, right? PTAC is going to help you focus primarily on government contracting, state, local, federal, all the government contracting and the market research and the intelligence and things like that. But the SBD, your person at SBDC, your counselor, is going to help you with your business structure, your business strategy. Your SCORE person is going to help you industry specific. So you get an industry specific counselor if you go through SCORE. So I would use those resources that way. Let an SBDC person sit with you and pull apart your business. What was the second part of that question?
That was the second part. So is it recommended to do DBA or to form another business in name only, specifically for products that supply to the government?
I would, without having any more information about your company, I would recommend that you get with the SBDC counselor and let them.
The next question is from Lisa. She's interested in knowing, what do you have to do in your SAM registration to get prepared or more detailed information regarding the First Look program?
Yes, so the First Look program is the program about government purchase cards. In your SAM profile, there's a question, and I think the default for the question is no, but it asks you, are you able to receive government purchase cards? And the default, it's a little question, it's like this big, and it's a yes or no. And a lot of people keep it on no, and you need to put it on yes. By saying you accept government purchase cards, that doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy any software, guys. If you can accept credit cards for payment, you can accept a government purchase card. It's nothing more than a credit card. Now, there is authentication. There's like a level 3 something security type thing, and it's only so that when the purchase card is used, they can see what was purchased. So it has a description of the service, and that comes with whoever does your merchant account. But QuickBooks, you can use QuickBooks. I believe you could even use Square. I use QuickBooks, so that needs to be turned to yes. And again, I have a course on this stuff. So Mission 500K, if you want more, like we can dive deeper. What was the other part of that question?
That was the other part of the question. So just how to be prepared for the First Look program.
Yeah. Yep. So just be able to accept purchase cards.
Yep.
And do your research on it. First Look, Air Force, plus First Look plus Air Force plus whatever, you'll be able to Google it.
Delon has a question. Would you look up contracts for providing a service like a general freight trucking the same way you would for providing goods? Or is that through subcontracting?
How much time do we have? I like these kind of questions. Y'all want to do something fun? Okay, let me see how much more time I got. Okay, look. So the answer is you do look them up different. Well, Okay, so sam.gov is one place, and this is part of the freebie. Sam.gov is one place, right? It used to be fbo.gov. I remember when it was CCR. Like it's been around forever. They can't make up their mind what they wanted to do with it. So there are places where you can see opportunities. The kinds of opportunities that make sense on SAM are not the solicitation. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, it is not solicitations. It is combined synopsis solicitation, because that means they actually have money, it's funded, they're ready. But the solicitations, you could be waiting for like 9 months. So you can look them up on there. But I like to work backwards. It's more important for you to know who's buying, who's winning, things like that, so that you can position yourself strategically before an opportunity becomes an opportunity, or position yourself to assist somebody that already has an opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So you want to know who's buying first. That's who's buying what you're selling. And what does the government call what you're selling? I'm looking at my time. I know, I'm sorry. But I do want to show you guys something. Do we have a lot more questions?
No, just one more.
Okay, so because I'll probably answer it while I'm doing this. And this
Okay.
is straight, as long as they don't stop me, this is totally, I wasn't planning to show y'all all this, but hold on. Okay, ask me the question.
The other question is, can you discuss how being bonded affects opportunities? Also, is personal credit a factor that may affect opportunity?
Can being bonded. Okay, can I say that question one more time?
So how does bonded affect opportunities? And then is personal credit a factor that affects opportunities?
That's like a super duper loaded question. Bonding affects opportunities depending on what kind of opportunity it is. Of course, obviously you must be in some kind of construction or something. So there is a certain Fed spending. There is a certain level of bonding that you have to have for the contracts, but your contract document will outline what that is, but that doesn't mean you can't find opportunities. That doesn't mean that you cannot, oh shoot, it won't let me be great. That doesn't mean that you can't pursue opportunities. That doesn't mean that you can't look for opportunities. So your bonding is necessary when it's necessary. That's the best way I can answer that right now.
Yep. And then the other question, our company produces things like vinyl decals, banners, vehicle wraps, and signage. We haven't had much success with SAM. However, am I correct in using the DLA or DIBS for our products?
So there's a couple places I always tell you to go. One, like any other business, guys, I just want you to bring it down low level. You're going to treat the federal government like you would treat any other customer, any other client. Relationships matter. So you have to start with your agencies that are nearby you. They should know what you do, right? You should be able to show up. You should be able to provide them things. You have to develop those relationships. That's one. So everything is not going to be found online. Okay. Some of these things you're gonna have to get out your car and walk through the door. Okay, so that's going to be important. That's one. Two, there's also Unison Global. I mean, I teach on Unison Global all the time. It used to be fedbid.com. But Unison Global has small purchases. It is not a reverse auction site. I've won opportunities to supply whiteboard paint in Kabul, Afghanistan through Unison Global. So a lot of small products and quick buys, I call it the government's eBay system, because everything on there is on a time. It's like, we need this in 22 hours and 45 minutes. And they're going for best price, lowest price, right? It's all based on lowest price. It ain't based on past performance. It's not based on anything. It's based on lowest price. So those kind of products and stuff, Unison Global is a good place. People that have a purchase cart is a good place. People that agencies that are located near you, those are good places. Okay.
There is a question around, can you send an email answer regarding the question about pursuing freight transportation? For example, how to find who's buying transportation services.
Yeah, because my Fed spending is just not coming up for me. So yes, I can. Yes, I can. And yeah, I can definitely do that. Here's what I want you to do. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's just not coming up. My
There,
website's not working. So I'll answer some more of your questions, but this is the question I have for you. Are you sure you're not the weapon formed against yourself? Causing yourself not to prosper? Remember all those AI things I told you? Are you not activating the information? Are you sitting on it? Are you constantly just preparing but never actually doing? So we don't want to repeat those cycles. I've seen basketball teams come back in the fourth quarter and kill it. And you can do the same. And so that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. And so I thank you for your time. I want to provide this to you, this strategy map. I was just a simplified way, like if you're going to focus on micro purchases, your next step is to market to purchase card holders, locate your OSDBU. The way you get ready is by doing these things, and then for additional assistance, right? And so I can provide that to you if you want to connect with us, of course, mission500k.com. But if you text mission 500k to that number, that's where that's how we can send you out that strategy map. Is that okay? I want to make sure that's okay with our host.
Natasha.
Natasha, is that good?
Yes, that's
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I want to be able to provide that to you. So you just text the word, all one word, mission 500K. You text it to 33777. I believe that the first thing that you'll receive is maybe the DIBS, journey through DIBS, but that's all I need you to do. And somebody from my team can go ahead and put that in the chat as well. I think we have time for a few more questions. Let's see how many we can knock out.
In regards to subprime and subcontracting opportunities and leveraging veteran opportunities, are there specific windows and doors that are best suited to move through for that?
One more time.
So specifically around subprime and subcontracting opportunities and making sure that they're leveraging veteran opportunities, are there specific doors that are better? Are there specific ways to get to those than others?
My answer is I don't know. Yep, that's my answer. I don't know. There's so many other factors. So when I do that, guys, I'm computing, I promise you. But I don't know. There are a lot of other factors. So industry is a factor. Like what industry, because there are a lot of things industry specific we could talk about. And then there are a lot of, yeah. So without having a little more information, I can't say that anything jumps out off the top of my head. Now, of course, you should know about the Veterans First program. So, the Veterans Administration, and at a very, very high level, your OSDBU, right? The Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization, your small business liaison person at the OSDBU office for the VA needs to know you. And they're going to be the person to, provide some additional information about veteran specific stuff. But that's definitely, that'd be my favorite agency and my place that's kind of where I would go. USA Spending finally came up for me, guys. I'm at advanced search right now. I'm just gonna real quick show you something. This is the FPDS is another favorite of mine, the Federal Procurement Data Systems. My team and I, we have courses on this stuff. I teach you how to use all this stuff. I get really excited about it. So I'm going to just do something real quick. Was it trucking? Was that
freight? Yeah, trucking, freight.
Okay, I'm just going to do trucking.
Okay.
Right now I'm going to do, and I don't know that that's going to be what the government calls it. So you do have to speak some kind of governese, right? So, you cut grass, but it's not even landscaping. It might be groundskeeping in the federal world. So I'm looking for contracts in these years. I don't care about the agency, but let's say I'm looking in the United States. I want to look in the state of Pennsylvania. Elemental P, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to just do all counties for now. I'm not going to select a county, but I'm going to add that to my filter. And then recipient type, if I wanted to see just by minority owned, women owned, I could do that, but I don't necessarily need to do that. And type of contract pricing, I'm not going to do any of these. By the way, PSC codes are much more important than NAICS codes. I know, that you're probably hearing that for the first time ever, but I promise you that is the truth. Your PSC code is so much more important. All right, so I got all those opportunities, and then I'm going to do the award amount because I want to make it like a minimum of 0 and a max. Let's just stay underneath the threshold. Okay, so 250,000. Okay, I'm gonna add that to my filter, and I'm gonna submit the search. Okay, so there's still like 2 million contracts. All right, so I'm going to take out some of these years. Okay, and then I'm going to submit the search. Okay, there are 918 contracts. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to, I'm still going to do all counties. Let's just start here. So 250,000, these are simplified acquisitions primarily, right? So these are award amounts. Can you guys see my screen good though?
Yes.
Okay, RDA Inc., these are the recipient names. These are who's winning contracts, right? And remember, we have the place of performance is somewhere in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a big place, but even if I drill down, let me just drill down a little bit. What county are you guys in? Give me some counties.
Chester.
Chester County? Let's see if there's anything.
There's a Lancaster, a Lehigh.
Okay, that might be too specific, but hey, it's worth a try. Hey, Chester County. Well, maybe not.
Somerset, Philadelphia for now.
Okay, so these are not for trucking. 20, Chester County, here we go. 20 contracts, okay? So Pittsburgh Logistics System, so these are some of the people that are winning, right? These are some of the people that are winning. As I go over, it tells me the start date, the end date, how much the award is, and then it tells me a base description, what they're doing. Shipping loose cotton, bulk fuel, critical functions, grounds maintenance, I don't know, transportation of cotton. They moving a lot of cotton up there. I don't know what's happening. Pack and move artifacts, right? That was a $10,000 opportunity. These are small opportunities. These are available, $1,000. And look at how they're buying. Purchase orders. I don't see any purchase cards here, but this is just one county, right? And then here's the other thing. I can go to this opportunity, like I can click on the actual contract and find out all the things. So Geneva Trucking, they're somewhere in New Jersey, and they're coming for your contracts over there in Pennsylvania. And as I scroll down on here, I can find the recipient details. So this is the company that won. They're in the 8A program. It looks like they're doing all right. This is the acquisition details, right? So it's telling me how it was acquired. And then the competition. Look at this. We see this all the time. It was a simplified acquisition. And look how many offers they received. So that means they put it out to the public and 2 people showed up. And anyone that works SBA, SBDC, they'll tell you this all the time. Typically, small businesses are just not showing up. So it was a $200 and something thousand opportunity, 125,000. 2 people showed up for it, and one of them won it. You see what I'm saying? So there are all types of resources outside of SAM and things that you can be using. We're a little, I think, over our time. I'm so sorry.
We are. We're 3 minutes over.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, but it was of great value. I really appreciate your time, Serena. As I know some of you, I see some of my clients here. Hello, everybody. You can always follow up with me. You know, my email is my last name @kutztown.edu, as you may know it. You can also find us on Southeast PTAC website for any further information or guidance, but I feel like this might have re-energized a lot of you. So, yeah, and I think some of them are probably even rethinking their strategy. Maybe I'll go into products instead of services. So it is entirely possible. But in my chat, I'm once again going to write down my email. And we have Southeast PTAC. We offer guidance and services for free. So feel free to, reach out and we will assign a counselor with your area of expertise. And they have a lot of knowledge, decades and decades of knowledge in government contracting. So we are happy to answer any questions you may have. But
Yes.
yes, thank you very much. Appreciate meeting Serena and your team, Tiffany and Jasmine. You've been absolutely great. I hope everybody found it very beneficial, and I will share with you any feedback we might have gotten.
Please give
Yeah.
us your feedback and please follow us, connect with me, LinkedIn or whatever. I love to hear your takeaways. Seriously, it just helps us improve. And I know what it's like trying to grow this business and using these free resources. And so I'm honored to have the opportunity to play this small part
Yeah.
in you growing your business.
Yeah, much appreciated. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. And